Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Show. This is Neil Long. It's just going to be a quick one today because last minute I have to go to Cardiff for a comedy competition. I literally got the call yesterday and I'm like, oh hell. So it's been incredible logistics working out how I'm going to get to Cardiff and back in a day. All the way to Cardiff to do 2 minutes on stage. You see, this is the giddy life of people that do stand-up comedy. Unreal. Anyway, hello to you and welcome to the show. So it's just going to be a short one today. I was going to pop in, say hello, have a quick chat with you. Plus, we unfortunately our guest dropped out today, so there is a possibility. I've just emailed someone. We might have a very last minute guest if we're lucky, but that depends if she gets the email or not. And I've only got her on email, I think. I was going to very quickly check my contact. I don't think she's here. No, that's fat fingers. No. Anyway. So yes. How are we? Who's watching then? Put a quick hello in the chat. And let's see who we've got. I wonder what maybe you'd like to talk about some things today. What would you like to talk about? It is the midday show after all, but I kind of know what you want to talk about today. What's on your mind? Feeling cooler, are we? I know quite a few people watch around the world in England, and we're not used to this. It's been it's been like 33, 34 degrees. What's that in old money? 34, double it, 34, 60, 8, 78, 88, 108 degrees Fahrenheit. And good old 34 degrees Celsius, if my mental arithmetic serves me correctly. Who have we got watching? Drop a quick hello on the timeline. As I say, sorry I can't do a full show today. It does have to be a very quick one. But I wonder what you might like to talk about. I've got a parking ticket. You know when you get parking tickets when you shouldn't do? No. Sent through the post. A posh one. And do you ever get these? These are ones that you shouldn't get because it was in a pub car park. It's obviously to stop people parking when they shouldn't. But what can I do? Apart from the fact that I was a customer there that night, therefore I shouldn't be charged. But I think I can get out of this. I just need a receipt. And if I can prove that I have one, then I'll be all right. Because they can't really charge me if I was a customer, can they? No, they might try, but no. Let's give them a chance. I know quite a few pubs like that. Because the one I normally go to is right by a station, and obviously people would just park in there and go to the station. But obviously, if you drink in the pub, which I do sometimes, they're not going to charge you for parking there. If you're a customer. So, how's your week gone so far? Is all well? I'll keep you updated on the parking tickets situation. We could do a whole thing on parking tickets. My favourite joke, what's the similarity between a parking warden and a stork? They can both stick their bills up there. Anyway, we'll move on from that swiftly. Hopefully I'll be funny at that tonight in Cardiff. All the way to Cardiff to do 2 minutes. I wouldn't normally do it. It's just like a really high profile competition. Normally, I mean, it's not uncommon actually for comedians. Hello, Barry. It's not uncommon, Barry, for comedians to be schlepping up and down the country, literally in the early part of their career, on the open mic circuit, literally driving all the way to, I don't know, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Kent, just to do 5 minutes. And there's no guarantee that there'll be an audience, and there's no guarantee it'll be a good audience, and there's no guarantee at all that there won't be any audience at all, and the only other audience there are fellow comedians, and it kind of turns more into a workshop sort of vibe then. But it's fun, and you meet people and all that sort of stuff. But there comes a point when you think, actually, I'm no longer really willing to drive 2 hours each way just to do 5 minutes, unless there's a very good reason, or it's for someone I particularly like. And there is a guy in Kent that I get on really well with. Shout out AMJ, who's brilliant. So I'm very happy to do his gigs. But apart from that, well, actually, there's one other in Kent that I'd like to get another spot at because it went down really well. But generally, you have to draw the line somewhere. It's like, okay, will somebody please pay me for this, or just pay me expenses, possibly, just a bit of petrol money and all that sort of thing. Because I'm kind of running at a loss here, and spreading mirth is a good thing, and of course, laughter is good for you, as is scientifically proven. I'm telling you, it's scientifically proven. So here's the thing: I've got to leave here. Got to get the SL7. I keep saying SL2 because that's the name of a band that I used to like back in the 90s. And there's a song on a ragga tip, if you remember that. Oh, one my die day, I said a hey, oh, one my die day. That probably mean nothing to you, but if you know, you know. SL7 bus, which is kind of a super loop that goes around it. Then from Heathrow, I'm going to Cardiff. And then from Cardiff, I'm getting a cab. And then when the show finishes, I'm getting a cab back. Wait till 1:40 in the morning, nighttime coach journey back to Heathrow, and then a cab straight into work. So what I'll be like on the radio tomorrow morning, I really don't know. Anyone think I'm crazy? Anyone think I'm bonkers to do this? Oh yeah, you must do. You absolutely must do. So what would you like to talk about today? Stick a message on the timeline. Anything you would like to discuss in detail, or maybe we do this occasionally. We put our listeners on and have a chat with them. Barry, do you fancy coming on and chewing the fat for 10 minutes or so? Do you fancy it? What do you think? You're very welcome to. We'd just like to do this from time to time. I did a gong show on Monday. It's the most brutal gong show. It's the Comedy Store. So yeah, like I say, I've played the Comedy Store for 1 minute and 47 seconds. I've played the Comedy Store. And it's so arbitrary. It's brutal. I can see why people get discouraged. Seriously. Basically, I think it's a legalized, sanitized version of throwing people to the lions, basically. It really is, because you can tell the audience want blood. The biggest noise and the biggest laugh of the night was from a woman that called a guy in the front row the C-bomb. And if that's really all they want, just to swear at people, well, anybody can do that. Most people do that on a daily basis, I would say. So, it should be easy then. What's the point of writing material? Just stand on the stage and call someone a, but that seemed to work. And she got through to the final. But actually, a really good guy won it, and I'm really pleased that he did, because the winner gets a 10-minute spot, and he's very, very clever in musical improvisation, and it is very, very clever. Indeed. I'm not very good at improv. He is. He just takes suggestions for a music genre and what the person does, and then makes a song about it. But he's got this kind of thing strapped around his neck, and it looks a bit like a bomb, actually. Well, obviously it's not. But it's a sampling machine, so you can go, whoa, and then press a button, and it keep going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then you record bits over it and overlay it, and it become a song. And it's dead clever. It's dead clever what he does. I've got no idea what the machine is, but it's certainly very, very clever. So well done to him. His name's Drew. So very well done there, Drew. Very, very impressive indeed. Any other comments? Criticisms, comments, feedback? Good show on Monday, wasn't it? Chatted with two very interesting ladies there. I was going to flip over to my emails just to see by any chance if the lady has emailed me back, because literally it was a very, very, very last minute drop out. No, but I have got a confirmation for another gong show. I'm not going to be beaten. I did the Comedy Store back in the 90s when I first did stand-up comedy. I did the Comedy Store. It was different back then. It wasn't a gong. It wasn't like a, throw people to the lions type gong show. No, it was. There were massive names of the time on stage. Trying to think who was really big back in the 90s. It would have been names like Joe Brand. I mean, the massive, huge names who were brilliant. And then little old me. The other open spot was already headlining in New York. He was a famous, sadly no longer with us, but a famous New York comedian. And then there was me, and I died on my sorry ass in front of 300 people and my agent, which was painful, but at least I had the kahunas to do it. But I suppose, I'm not going to be beaten. I'm not going to be beaten. I'm determined. It's become personal now. It's become personal. Comedy Store, I'm going to beat you. I will play 10 minutes there and get massive laughs, and I'm determined to. But anyway, we'll see where we go with that. But they were brutal, though. I mean, literally, it's like predators looking for blood. The minute they spot the slightest weakness, the slightest hesitation, the slightest joke that doesn't quite land, it's like, make me laugh, you bastard. Every single joke's got to be funny. Otherwise, we're voting you off. And they've got a card system. So it's like you get one card, and then a guy comes over the tunnel like, one card, like that. And you think, and that kind of puts you off as well. And then 2 cards, 3 cards, boom, you're off. And that's it. Some people lasted under a minute. Some people, and as I say, it's so easy for the audience to turn. You just hear this boo, and then it can spread like a virus across the room, and then you're done. And you hear the beginning of it, and you think, oh, that joke didn't land. And there's that kind of energy change in the room. You think, which way is it going to go? Because whatever way it's going to go there quickly. It's going to be quick. There's no middle ground here. There's no grace period. That that's it. It's like throwing people to the lions, and once the lions decide to eat you, that's it. There's no kind of can we negotiate vegetarian diet for you today, Rex? There's there ain't none of that. Very good people though. I mean, there was a poor guy. He was in a wheelchair, and he had braces on his legs, and he had to be lifted on stage and off stage, and he did an act with a puppet, which was all right. I mean, it was, but not for the Comedy Store. He was carded really, really quickly. It can be. And also they do this thing where they get someone from the audience. Anyone from the audience want to have a go? And the guy lasted 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Because everyone thinks they're funny in front of their mates, don't they? And I say to them, all right, okay, well, get up in the Comedy Store and do 5 minutes then. If you think it's that easy, you go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. And it brought home to me that how much people craft their material, but everyone started there. Everyone's had the bad nights. I mean, I would hear stories of people, hello RVB, massive names again of the time. Phil Jupiters, that was another big name at the time back in the 90s, wasn't it? And people of his ilk, and they're amazing stand-up comedians. They're amazing. They're brilliant. Absolutely at the top of their game. But they would get so nervous about it, they throw up in the sink behind the stage. So it's and that tells me it's all right to get nervous. I wasn't actually that nervous. I actually kind of care a lot less nowadays, if that makes sense. I'm certainly not going to go home and cry about it. Although after a day trip to Cardiff and a night on a coach, that might be different by 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. But still, what can we do now? You're going to have to excuse me for 1 second because I just realised my computer's not plugged in and we're about to run out of battery. So here's some pretty clouds to watch, and I'll be back in. Sorry about that, and I've had to move as well because I didn't want to be. So I didn't want to be untangling wires when I'm supposed to be talking to you. So yeah, what a day! And it's good. It's cooler, isn't it? We've got this giant paddling pool. It's when Lidl. It's fatal when you go to the middle of Lidl, and you can come home with swimming pools, kayaks, Black and Decker sander, everything that you absolutely don't need, but they want you to think that you do need, so you'll buy it on impulse. And it works, doesn't it? You've got a swimming pool back, or the paddling pool. It's bloody massive. I mean, seriously, you could virtually hold an Ibiza-style pool party in there. I'm just standing here looking at it now. It takes ages to fill. And now, I never cared about gardening. Now I'm worried about the grass. I'm thinking, we're going to have to move that at some point, because if we don't, the grass is, what's going to happen to the grass? And I'm like, Neil, what is going on with you? you don't think like this. You don't normally care about grass. Well, not that kind anyway. um, So yeah, what else to tell you? Any comments from you? Anything that I need to shout out to you? As I say, it's just going to be a very short midday show today, and then to throw forward to Russ and the gang at the weekend, because this is a very very last minute thing, and I didn't have a chance to really contact anyone and tell them. But I did want to pop in and say a very quick hello and good afternoon and welcome to said midday show. News is not very bright at the moment, is it? Do you ever do that thing where you don't watch the news? I do know there's a big argument about that, isn't there? There's people that say, you know, I don't watch the news. It's too depressing. And I understand that. And I have met some wonderful yet sensitive people that work in media, and it's kind of started to affect them mentally, just reading out all the bad news in the world all day. Then again, the media does have a very negative bias, and frankly, bad news sells. Good news doesn't, which is unfortunate, but true. So I wonder. There again, people will argue, well, it's good to know what's going on. And for me, it's just a balance. Yes, it's good to know what's going on. It's good to be aware. But if it starts, I suppose, affecting your well-being, then what use is awareness, if you know what I mean? What do you think? What's your thoughts on that? I was recommended a book the other day called Reconnect, and it was about a guy, because now, of course, we live in exciting times where we can measure brainwaves and stuff like that. And it was about a guy that did a digital detox. I know lots of people do digital detoxes, and that's an important thing. But he did it, and he went off to a monastery or something for a couple of weeks. I mean, talk about taking things to the extreme. But of course, brainwaves can be measured now, and they measured his brainwaves before and after visit to said monastery. And before and after, he'd been constantly on his phone. And it was amazing. It really, really was amazing. And I do think we do. I mean, I do. I run my life on my phone. If I lose my phone, I feel, frankly, naked. And if it's got, I know people that are constantly on there because they've got everything on there. They've got all the bank accounts, all the appointments, and in one sense, it's a really helpful tool. But on the other sense, we're buried in screens all the time. And that can't be a good thing. It certainly can overstimulate dopamine like any drug does. That's why people can become addicted to their phones. They get addicted to the dopamine fix. And as I've said 1,000 times on this show probably, that if you're having a bad time, you can feel like you're the only one in the age of social media. It really, particularly with younger people, it really engenders comparison. And you think, oh, I'm not as good as that person. I'm not as good as that person. I'm not good. I'm no good. And it's that's tragic. I mean, that is absolute tragedy. So there's two sides to this argument. Again, playing video games is another one. In one sense, it can be really good for your brain, but too much is not. Same argument about most things. I suppose everything in moderation, but how many of us use our mobile phones in moderation? Do you? But I would like to. I couldn't find it. I looked it up on Amazon. It was recommended to me, and I found lots of books called Reconnect, and you can imagine what they were about. And I don't mean turn the electricity back on. And they weren't really up my street, but this one does sound particularly good. Particularly good, I have to say. Now, we're a bit light on comments. I've spilled my guts to you for the last 19 minutes or so. Come on, be a bit interactive. Talk back to me. What do you want to talk about? Any requests, dedications, birthdays, divorces? 1 minute. Bloody parking ticket. I've got to go through the appeals process. My local pub can just cancel it because they know me in there and they know that I drink in there. Why do I have to go through the appeals process? And I've got to attach evidence. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Excuse me. Them in private companies. It was awful once. It's way back. I was having a Chinese meal with my girlfriend at the time, and we were in a little place. It was just like sort of in sort of a, I think it was in Burnham, which is like a little country type town near-ish Maidenhead. And there was an office space, and obviously people weren't using the office space at all because it was Friday night, it was the weekend. And then suddenly out of nowhere, this van turned up with 5 big blokes in it, and they started wheel clamping the cars. And they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh no, can't park there, mate. I'm afraid private, And I'm like, Are you serious? And it caused quite a hoo-ha. They should have been chased out of town with pitchforks. Nothing less than they deserve. But apparently, I do have to go through the parking appeals process and attach evidence, and they should cancel it after that. And if not, then I can call the pub back, and they will say, and then the pub can email them and tell them to cancel it. Why do we have to go through the appeals process first? Why can't the pub just cancel it? Obviously, the pub have hired these people to stop people parking in there when they shouldn't. And anyway, it's in a shitty place. Who want to be there anyway? Okay, not that I'm angry or bitter. There's 2 tickets I'm contesting at the moment. One of them I'm fairly bang to rights on, but this one I'm most certainly not. Anyway. Now, as I said, it is just going to be a short show today. So thank you very much indeed for tuning in. I can tell you that Russ and the gang will be here on Friday with TV critic Jonathan Baz, Chantal Ricards as well, the Screen Queen, and the King of the Cravats, Phil Dave, and the inimitable Russ Kane. So I thank you very, very much indeed for tuning in. I'll just go on for a couple more minutes before I go. But I appreciate your custom, as always. You've seen this? This is, sorry if you're listening on radio, but you've seen this? This is a Henry Hoover. And it's actually a keyboard cleaner. You know when you get all those little annoying bits in your keyboard? The only thing is, it doesn't seem to work that well. Let's try it without the... Oh, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if it worked. It's a very good idea, but it would be nice if it just, worked. Robert Van Buren, you like your Henry Hoovers, Neil? Well, it forms part of my comedy set, RVB, and I think you've seen my comedy set, haven't you? So I kind of look at Henry Hoovers a little bit differently. Although what I joke about, and you can probably guess, being that it's rude and it's stand-up comedy, what I might be doing with it, that's actually a thing. Can I say this on the Midday Show? Yeah, I can. I was just doing the song. It's basically a song about a lonely man who's alone with a Hoover. And should we just say, needs must. We'll leave that one there. And it's a joke, obviously. I don't obviously do that with Hoovers, nor would I ever consider doing that with a Hoover. I haven't even wondered what it would be. Well, I might have wondered, but I never have, and I never would. But this guy came up to me at the end of a gig, and he said... it's not a joke. I went, what do you mean? And he showed me this picture we had on Twitter, and it was a Home Office book, right? Home Office document. So it's an official government document, and the book was this thick. The book was so thick. It was like a proper thick hardback book entitled Penile Injuries from Vacuum Cleaners. Volume 12! Volume 12. So there are 12 books that are this. I'll show you the size. One moment. There are 12 books, right? This size. Proper this thick, like proper big book, that thick, hardback book. And this isn't the book, by the way. That's volume 10. No, that's not the book. Yeah, right. Volume 12. So there's this many pages, right? Times 12 of people who genuinely have... What? The mind boggles. I know, RVB. It's unreal, isn't it? Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, why? And I thought it was just a comedy routine, just a joke. But clearly for some people, it's not. I mean, why? And it's dangerous. It's really... because apparently people try all sorts of things. And probably enough now, because it is lunchtime. But you get the idea. Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Wish me luck for tonight. I've got 2 minutes to impress another feral audience in Wales as well. So I hope they like me. Maybe I should say my name's Bryn with a bell on every tooth and put on my Welsh accent. Problem is, when I put on my Welsh accent, I go into Indian quite easily. So it's probably not a good thing to do that. I did date a Welsh girl once. That is true. I don't know about a bell on every tooth. It's more like a foghorn on every bloody tooth with her. Thank you. RVB, good luck tonight, Neil. I appreciate that, RVB, and I will let you know how it goes on Monday. Right, as I said, just a short show. I want to drop in and say hello. Robert, thank you for tuning in, to our regulars, Robert and Barry as well, and the rest of you tuned in on the Midday Show. And if you're watching the replay, this has been just kind of a spew of consciousness for this Wednesday afternoon, this cooler Wednesday afternoon at the beginning of July 2025. Good afternoon. I'll see you next Monday. Take care.